It was a tweet from another Toronto District School Board trustee, Sam Sotiropoulos, who wrote out on Twitter, Toronto Police says TDSB participation raises questions of age appropriateness. Do you enforce Canada's public nudity laws at Pride? Well, that has led to Paul Elliott of the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation calling for Sotiropoulos to be investigated. I asked TTSB to commence investigations to determine if Trustee Sotiropoulos has breached the board's code of conduct, the TTSB human rights policy, workplace harassment policy, the Occupational Health and Safety Act, or any other relevant policy or legislation. Sam Sotiropoulos joins us now from Toronto. Sam, I'm sorry, I keep laughing at this, but this is a serious matter.
It's quite serious, in fact. It's so serious, it's absurd. The truth is that this complaint is completely ludicrous. If we actually look at the situation, the fact that the TDSB participates in a parade that promotes or at least has public nudity as part of the content actually goes against the board's code of conduct in and of itself. As far as the complaint itself specifically, no one is mentioned. Claims of workplace harassment, but no specific individuals are named.
Well, let me ask you, are you out there?
If I may, Brian, not to mention that the employee group's purpose and mandate is to look to the interests and safeguard the interests of their members, which are teachers, and not to be, I guess, taking on public crusades of any kind, nor defending city councillors for practices within their wards or in a specific ward, which are exceptions to what's going on in every other ward on the very same day.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you out there saying we got to fire all the gay teachers? Are you out there going full
absurd.
Fred Phelps in Westboro Baptist Church?
No, nothing of the kind.
So,
in fact, it's an inclusive
So you're
workplace.
just saying, let's not have adults parading naked in front of kids, and you're the bad guy. How does this happen in today's world?
Well, I don't know how it happens in today's world. I know how it happens at the TDSB, and that is I joined the board as a newly elected trustee 2 years ago. There was no welcome wagon. There was no kumbaya singing. I applied myself diligently and worked hard to understand the workings of the board, and I have come to the understanding that the board is dysfunctional in many more ways than most people realize. And I got to be honest with you that in this particular instance, we're participating in an event which I have no problem with. I've never been to Pride. If invited, I would go as long as I knew that the laws of Canada were being enforced, just as they would be in any other ward in the city on that same day even. If I'm sure if someone was to go naked in Yorkville or on the Danforth on that very same day, they'd be arrested. They'd be arrested post haste.
You said that there's problems at the board. I want to show some of the problems that the Toronto District School Board, biggest school board in the country, has been dealing with. You had an education director that had to quit because he admitted to plagiarism. You've had posters in the school pushing cross-dressing and polygamy. Yet a trustee compared pride nudity to newborns. That'd be Mr. Kaplan. A teacher post explicit sex ed brochures in class, and a curriculum guide had website links to veggie sex, encouraging kids to experiment with that. That's just a small tasting. I could go on, but yet Mr. Kaplan and your fellow board members seem to not believe this stuff. Kaplan called the veggie sex thing an urban myth. Even the Toronto Red Star was writing up about it. So it's not an urban myth. It actually happened.
It actually happened.
How do you get this stuff under control?
Well, in fact, I was the one who had it removed from the website. None of my other colleagues spoke up about it. And in no short order, I managed to get the link taken down. So if I managed to get that link taken down without having to go through some laborious, cumbersome process, because it did, in fact, contravene our code of conduct policy, and that was clear, then I think my asking the question around our participation in a Pride Parade event, which includes public nudity, which is a clear flouting of the laws of Canada, is legitimate.
All right, Mr. Sotiropoulos, I don't know your politics. I don't know all your voting record at the board, but you seem like a voice of some sanity at a place that desperately needs it. So please keep pushing for that sanity.
I'll do my best. Thank you. Keep praying for me.